You know, not to get too personal here, but this is one of those days when I could really use a good stool softener. Oh, thanks. I sit on a wooden stool when I do my... Never mind. Welcome to Tom's Hit Parade. This will be kind of a little grab bag episode. I'm not sure how long it'll be, but just kind of a few random sort of things that came up, I guess you'd say, recently. First one is a follow-up, an epilogue or alpologue, if you will, to my Weird Al concert experience. I received the other day the plaque that I was promised from my Weird Al Jeopardy experience. And it's a nice plaque. I'm not sure if it's real wood or not, but it's bigger than I thought it was going to be, obviously. And it has a photo of us, the crowd that was present at the thing. And you can't really tell because the camera flashes right in my face, but that's me here with my Hawaiian shirt and the Weird Al Close Personal Friends of Al undershirt that I had on there. And it was awesome, you know, opened it up and I was all eager and really happy until I saw my name is Tim. It's not a complicated name, okay? They send me an email asking for, well, you know, we sent them an email first. You know, they gave us a little card to email this email address, and they emailed back with, you know, give us your details, you know, your name, first place, second place, or third place, and the concert venue and the date and all that stuff. So I replied in the email. I mean, it's not like I hand wrote the stuff down and took a fuzzy picture with my phone and sent it in. I typed the stuff in. And on my better days, I don't need to check my own name for typos. That's all I'm saying. Okay, I was a little bit ticked at first, but honestly, hey, first of all, I didn't pay a thing for this plaque. Honestly, this was just kind of icing on the cake. Secondly, I mean, as far as everybody else at the venue was concerned, I was New Dave that night, so nobody knew my real name anyway. But also, you know, having my name misspelled on it just makes it a little more weird. I mean, hey, appropriate, right? But yeah, this is, I'm planning on making some kind of, or probably not making, but buying some kind of a 2-inch or 3-inch deep display cabinet of some sort, putting it on the wall with all the stuff from the concert there, my VIP laminate, the framed playlist, and this, and probably some of the other goodies. So this will be on my wall in some way or another pretty soon. So honestly, you know, I can't complain about my name being misspelled, really. You know, besides, what purpose would it serve? They're not going to take it back and redo it. I know that. It's not worth the trouble anyway. So, but one thing that I can complain about is what Rolling Stone did to us subscribers recently. Now, I've been a Rolling Stone subscriber for probably 20 years now. I really look forward to getting the magazine every time. I've been through them, stuck with them through all their changes when they shrunk the magazine down from its original classic oversized format down to the traditional magazine size format. I stuck with them, you know, despite the complaints that I read from other subscribers. And but now when I get this issue in my mailbox, it's back to, I don't think it's back to the original size. I think it's still a little bit smaller than it was originally. Hey, it's much nicer quality paper, you know, very nice glossy paper and all that. But I mean, it's square bound. You know, you can see it's glue bound, which I don't know that I'm all that crazy about. I prefer my magazines staple bound just because they lay flat when you open them. You don't actually have to hold them open. But the thing that really got me was I was reading the introduction in this issue where they announced that they are now a monthly magazine. All this time they were bi-weekly, you know, every 2 weeks. Their entire history up until now, they've decided to switch to a monthly magazine. And I mean, that kind of gets me, especially since they didn't mention this, at least not anywhere that I saw on their Facebook page or anywhere else, where they were going to do this until we subscribers got our issues in the mail. So it kind of feels like a little bit of a bait and switch, honestly. You can understand. And another thing is I'm looking at the expiration date, which is on my the address label on my magazine, and it's still where it was before the magazine switched frequency. So I will be getting fewer issues with my subscription. I don't know if it's worth complaining to them or not about it, because they're probably not going to do anything Although maybe if they do get enough complaints from enough subscribers, maybe they will take some action. So, I mean, I'm not going to cancel my subscription. I still enjoy getting the magazine. I read it mostly for the music news and the album reviews. I don't usually read the political articles or any of that other stuff. But, still feels kind of like a crappy thing that they did, And now the third and final topic for today is, you might remember that about a month ago I told you I went to a yard sale and picked up a bunch of CDs. Well, I've finally gotten around to listening to all of them that I've picked up, and thought I would share them with you. One thing I've noticed lately, and especially with this lot of CDs, is that I seem to have gotten pretty good lately at telling, just by looking at the front and back cover of a CD by an artist I've never heard of before, whether or not I'm going to enjoy them, whether or not I think I'm going to enjoy them. And I gotta say, my track record with this lot is pretty good. Now, the first one is a jazz singer by the name of Sachal. He's got a last name, but I would completely butcher it, so I'm not even going to try. And the best comparison I can give you with this guy is Harry Connick Jr. And in a way, that's a good thing and a bad thing, because I've tried to get into... I really want to like Harry Connick Jr., but I've only managed to appreciate 2 or 3 of his albums. I mean, I like the guy. I love his personality. And I loved it when he was a judge on American Idol, because he was very, very analytical. He told it like it was. He did not get overly passionate and fall in love with a contestant. And every judge on every talent show should be like that, honestly. But anyway, back to his music. There's just something about Harry Connick Jr. that I just cannot get to like. And Sachal, with him, it's pretty much just his voice. His voice is kind of thin. He's in tune. I mean, I don't think he sings a note out of tune that I could hear on this CD. It's just his voice just doesn't have a whole lot of personality to it. The song stylings are pretty good, honestly. But yeah, that's the one thing that's kind of holding me back on really liking this guy a lot, is his voice. Maybe if I hear another album of his, I don't know if he's made any others, honestly. But I might be willing to check out more of his stuff. The second one is another jazz singer. Actually, that was the overwhelming majority of the CDs there were kind of jazz and blues, and there was actually quite a few classical there too, so there wasn't a lot of pop and rock there. The second one is Lucy Woodward. This is her third album, but it's the only one that I've gotten of hers. Her first album, from what I gather, I actually haven't listened to any of the songs from it, but it looks like it was very much contemporary pop, mainstream pop, so that is really hit or miss with me, especially with female vocalists, just because I'm not, I don't glom onto female vocalists as much as I glom onto male vocalists, just kind of a thing with me. And her second album, the only physical format it was in was a Barnes & Noble exclusive, so I'm probably not going to find that one unless I happen upon it. But yeah, this is her third album, and as you can kind of see from the cover, it's sort of a throwback to 40s and 50s jazz songs. And it's actually really good. It features a song written by Nellie McKay, the British singer-songwriter who I've really gotten to like. She's really spunky and got a really good attitude. But yeah, this is very good. I like her voice, and I'm thinking about seeking out more of her stuff. So yeah, that was really good. Then we've got yet another one that I had never heard of until I saw him here. Robert Randolph and the Family Band, and with their album Got Soul. This is I think their third or fourth album, and it was released just last year in 2017. And it's just, as you can kind of tell by the cover, it's just great blues, soul, funk kind of stuff. Well, not quite so much on the funk, but it's great. And the standout track is called "Love Do What It Do," featuring Darius Rucker on vocals, and it's great. Some of the songs on here venture a little bit close to gospel, a little too close to gospel for my tastes. It's just not a genre that it kind of just gets lost on me, I guess you'd say. But yeah, I am definitely eager to check out more of Robert Randolph and the Family Band. I mean, this was a good album. Next one is an instrumental world music group, I guess you'd say, called Lost at Last, and this is on Windham Hill Records. And now there is a metal band out there with the same name, Lost at Last. Not those guys. And this, well, the blurb on the back really is what I looked at first and what kind of sold me. Lost at Last is timeless tribal world music blended with cutting-edge dance grooves and lush ambient soundscapes. And that's basically what it is. It's kind of, it's world music with a bit of a EDM feel to it. And hard to put into a box. I mean, probably the closest box you could put it into is world music. But yeah, it's just a very interesting and kind of fun listen. I really enjoyed this one. And these next 3 artists are ones that I actually had heard of before. This first one I first encountered on a mix CD that was in my sister's CD collection that I inherited from her. It is an instrumental group called Medeski, Martin and Wood, and they had a song on that CD of my sister's called Uninvisible, and it was really great. It kind of had a jazzy, little bit of a funk thing to them. They're almost entirely instrumental, these guys. But this is Note Bleu, the best of the Blue Note years. So it's a compilation CD of theirs, and I really enjoyed it. And Uninvisible is on here. I might not have gotten it if it wasn't on there, but yeah. This is just great stuff. If you've ever listened to Snarky Puppy, they're a kind of a same sort of thing. They're kind of a chill funk instrumental pop jazz sort of outfit, and they're just great. They got a Grammy Award for their last album, Culcha Vulcha, and that is worth listening to, by the way. Go find it, it's great. Yeah, these guys kind of remind me of Snarky Puppy. Very good stuff to put on in the background while you're kind of chilling, yo. And this next guy, I had actually had this CD before, but got rid of it for reasons unexplained. Emerson Hart. He was the frontman for the rock band Tonic back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And this is his first, and I think so far only, solo album. And this is a little more mellow than than the Tonic's stuff, a little more singer-songwritery, and just a lot of good songs on here. If You're Gonna Leave, I think, was the lead-off single. Actually, it might have been the only single off the album. I Wish the Best for You is another good one. And Ordinary was a great upbeat kind of a rock song. That kind of gets as close to Tonic as you'd find on this album. But there were a couple of great, more ballady kind of songs. When She Loves You is a great, I guess it's closer to a power ballad than it is to a straightforward, a downbeat ballad. But it's a great love song. And Flyin' is, in my opinion, the absolute standout on this album. It's just kind of a rumination set to the metaphor of flying a kite. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous song. So yeah, Emerson Hart, Cigarettes and Gasoline is the name of this album. It's great. And the next one, or the last one actually, that I picked up at the sale is another one that I had owned once before and for some stupid reason got rid of. He's a musical satirist named John Forster. And kind of like Tom Lehrer, he's not as nutty as Weird Al Yankovic is. He's a little more subtle and has a more sly wit in his lyrics than Al does. But yeah, just great songs on here. Very funny stuff. And again, I don't know why I got rid of this the first time, because I listened to it and absolutely loved it. So much so that I went online looking for his follow-up album, Helium, which was released 3 or 4 years afterward. And it's been out of print for a long time now. So I went onto Amazon looking at the third-party sellers who might be selling it and who should be on that list, but the record store that's like a 10-minute walk from my place of work that I go to 3 or 4 times a week during my lunch break. So yeah, I hot-footed it over there, and fortunately I found out about it before I went to lunch that day, so I was able to pick it up the same day. They were able to pull it from their Amazon stock and get it for me. And yeah, this one is almost as funny as Entering Marion, which is the one that I just showed you. And the one weakness with John Forster's stuff, though, is especially on Helium, he delves a little bit more into the socio-political stuff, which, as we all know, has a very short shelf life. Like, for instance, on this album, Helium, he does a song called In the Closet, which pokes fun at the Don't Ask, Don't Tell military legislation that President Clinton enacted. And then there's another one called The Juice a la Seuss, which is a Dr. Seuss-style retelling of the O.J. Simpson trial, which, again, it dates the album substantially, but still, the stuff that is more universally, more universal satire and humor is pretty much timeless. I mean, and especially because he pulls it off so well. So yeah, that is my haul from the yard sale that I picked up about a month ago. Hope you enjoyed looking at those CDs as much as I enjoyed listening to them. And thank you very much for listening to my rant about Rolling Stone and the very forgivable error in the Weird Al plaque. I mean, I still look back at that night and smile. I had so much fun there. Did you pick up any good yard sale hauls recently? And are you as miffed about Rolling Stone as I am? Let me know in the comments. And again, please subscribe if you haven't yet. And again, thank you so much for watching. And remember, life's too short to be a music snob.